Grindr. You heard of it, mate? Nah, not the bloody Makita type. It's one of those rooting apps, you know, like Tinder for blokes, you know, but for two blokes to get onto each other. And frankly, mate, from what I've heard, I reckon they've bloody cracked it when it comes to these apps. Now, not to be bloody sexist or cliche, but in my experience, it rings true, and I'm sure a lot of you fellas here that drink at 11:30 on a Tuesday will agree. Women are strange cattle. They are, mate, and it's not their fault. You see, when it comes to the male brain and the female brain, one was definitely wired up by an apprentice. Since the dawn of humanity, mate, the dynamic of a man and a woman has always been a breeding ground for frustration. Frankly, it's been the ruination of mankind. As I always say, everything that happens in life can be traced back to cock and pussy. You take that away, mate, and we'd have cured cancer by now and built a Bunnings on Mars. But I was talking to a mate of mine the other day, and from what he was saying about this Grindr, mate, us blokes have got these rooting apps down to a science. Yeah, he reckons easier than cracking a beer on a Friday to get a ride off Grindr. And I was like, nah, woo up, yo. It can't be that bloody easy, mate, because I watch these fellas on Tinder and all that going back and forth for ages just trying to get a hello out of a woman. So he says to me, if a Sheila asked you straight up for a picture of your cock, what would you do? And I was like, I don't know, I'd probably put it back on her, you know, flirt with her a little bit. He's like, nah, you've already been blocked on Grindr. And I'm like, blocked? He's like, yeah, mate, on there, it's show us your cock and let's go ride. Don't fuck me around. And I'm like, Christ, it's so much bloody easy with blokes, you know what I mean? Like, no games, straight to the point, logical, common interest, we understand each other, you know, same desires. He is that bored of rooting now that he just wants someone to talk to. Do you know how rare it is for a straight bloke to not feel like he's missing out? I mean, imagine that. Imagine having all your runs on the board and feeling satisfied with your efforts, and then just being emotionally available to commit to a Sheila. Talk about your Loch Ness Monsters, mate. See, that's all I'd want with these apps, mate, you know what I mean? Just a ride. And there's nothing wrong with that, you see. I've raised me kids. I can cook a feed for myself. I don't need a mother for me kids or a fucking housewife. I just want to ride. I just want someone to wrestle with, mate. And there's nothing wrong with just wanting to get a root, mate. I mean, it's natural, and there's that many people out there that just want that. But with all these bloody apps, mate, I reckon all they're doing is knocking people's confidence. I mean, look at all these dating apps fellas have now. Tinder, Mumble, Binge, all at your bloody fingertips. And frankly, I'm not seeing these young fellas pulling much more than themselves. See, it's all good for them to have a catalogue of women on their phones, but they forget it's the bloody Sheilas who get their bloody pick. See, all they've done with these apps is streamline an entire region of blokes into one easy menu. So now, you're competing with every single bloke in a 100-kilometre radius just for the opportunity to have a forced conversation. Instead of being how it used to be, where you go to the pub or to a dance and you're trying to get a Sheila back to your ute, all you had to do was be better than the blokes in the room. But now, no one's ordering the chicken burger, mate, if they can have the Wagyu. Nah, us blokes, mate, we have it worked out. It's a far simpler process. Women, mate, they're just hard work. And I don't mind hard work, mate, but some of it's just unmanageable. Do you know Sheilas now have these things called icks? See, basically it's something, even small, that you could be doing without realising, and boom, they get the ick. They're turned off you for life. Here's an example, I'll tell you a story. I was talking to this Sheila, and you know what gave her the ick? The way this bloke she was seeing dived into a pool while he was on holiday. Now, apparently his form was fine, but he went for a certain style that he executed poorly, I don't know. But once he hit that water, he was done. Now, like I said, I don't mind trying to meet standards, mate, but women these days, they've raised the bar too bloody high. I mean, you got blokes walking around on a knife's edge, trying to be Olympic level with every bloody little thing they do. Mate, if the job's getting harder, there should be an increase in pay. And mate, I can't bloody see that happening. And the thing with us blokes, everyone's rideable to someone. No fuss. I mean, you can be ripped, skinny, fat, old, ginger, and you'll do well. Everybody's got a category. Everybody is someone else's kink. I mean, no bloke goes without a poke. I mean, doesn't that just sound nice? Easy, stress-free. A mate of mine, he just moved into a new rental. Anyway, he hooked up with this tradie bloke on Grindr. Now, once they were done practicing their grappling skills, this tradie bloke, he had a look around the place and he said, oh, all your downlights need replacing. And then, before he left, he did a few repair jobs for him. Now, mate, if that's not a good route, I don't know what is. Anyway, each to their own, but it just goes to show that blokes, are a bit easier going.
Oh.
Do you reckon I'd be a bear?